Then it got to the point where I was like, what am I doing, man? I'm done.
Look, this whole situation could absolutely destroy influencer boxing as we know it. But when it comes to KSI specifically, I'm telling you right now, his boxing days are over. The guy's head just isn't in the game anymore, and there's no master plan or publicity angle here. Let me break down exactly why this might be the beginning of the end for influencer boxing entirely.
I felt like I had to be the nightmare. To sell a fight, you have to do stuff to get people to want to watch. That's the fight game. And I didn't enjoy it. Didn't like it. I mean, I didn't even gain much from the material stuff. My fight with Tommy Fury, all the money I made, I gave it to my trainers. All of it.
Here's what people don't understand about KSI. The dude you see in podcasts and regular content is completely different from his fight persona. In real life, he's down to earth, generous, genuinely decent. But this whole villain character he was trying to play became straight up embarrassing. Remember all that cringe stuff during the Wayne buildup where he was saying things that clearly weren't him just to create drama and sell tickets?
For me, it's not, I don't do stuff for this. I've been offered 20 million to fight Jake Paul, 30 million to fight Jake Paul. These guys can't give me any amount of money to fight this guy.
Boxing was never about the paycheck for KSI. The man's already loaded from his businesses and other ventures, so fighting was purely because he loved it. That's exactly why he was giving money to his trainers without caring about profits. You have to genuinely want to be in there to make it work. But before we dive into KSI basically saying he's done with boxing forever, his whole team was getting attacked. People were claiming his trainers weren't pushing him hard enough or earning their keep during the rough patch of his career.
Listen, I'm trying to wait for them to cook. Because I'm seeing all these interviews, I'm listening, but I'm not seeing the dish.
He's on another level. He's on another level.
Where's the dish?
The way
because
he's on another level now.
Listen, okay, JJ said before the Fury fight, I've hit my final form, I finally get their system. And he came out and done star jumps.
Yeah.
When we left him, he was Beerus.
Yeah, he was.
Now he's Machamp. What's his name? That Machamp or something. On the real.
My main goal when I got into the boxing ring again was to fight Jake Paul and build Misfits.
Everyone got confused about what was supposed to happen with the KSI and Andrew Tate partnership. KSI still runs Misfits to this day, which people forget. You can own a company while having a CEO handle operations, and that was going to be Tate's position. He was meant to be the face who promoted cards, stood with fighters, and kept competing while running the platform. Obviously, that crashed and burned after his terrible debut performance. Maybe he can fix it if these rematch rumors are real, but who else can carry this brand right now? If the Tate thing doesn't work, maybe KSI jumps back into promotional duties, but he needs help with the workload. He's been doing way too much to build this brand.
Tried to fight Jake Paul time and time and time again, excuse after excuse after excuse. Instead of Tommy Fury, I was there ready to fight Jake Paul. I was ready, I was there, let's go. And instead he fought Nate Diaz. I think I tried to build up again to then try and fight Jake again, and then he was just getting heavier and heavier and heavier, trying to move the goalposts when it comes to weight. Then it got to the point where I was like, what am I doing, man? I'm done.
Anyone hoping this would finally be the year we got Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury or KSI versus Jake Paul can forget about it. That fight is dead in the water because there's just too much ego and bad blood.
So there you have it, KSI. You want 185, I want 200. I didn't want to budge, you didn't want to budge. Mr. Beast said, why don't we just meet in the middle? Good point, Mr. Beast. I'm down, 192.5. And that's my final.
What do you think his excuse will be now?
Who knows? Yeah, he's probably just going to say, no, I'm not going to 185. I'm focused on my music career.
The exhaustion around this whole thing is real. I've lost count of how many videos I've made about potential KSI Jake Paul build-ups over the years, and nothing ever materializes. KSI shouldn't step foot in a boxing ring feeling the way he does right now. Jake Paul, whatever you think about him, is completely obsessed with boxing. The mental gap between them right now is massive. Even though KSI said in this interview that he won't duck big challenges and fighting Jake Paul would prove that point, his whole mindset has shifted. For the first time, he's admitting he has too much other stuff going on.
Like, Jake Paul, I'm not going to just run away from certain fights, or I'm not going to just avoid certain people, etc. Like, you know, I'm always down to fight, especially if it's fair. And yeah, I just want to enjoy myself. You know, I've told the world I'm not here to be a world champion. I'm just not. I've got so many other things going on. You know, you can see with Britain's Got Talent, you know, I'm a judge.
Nobody gives KSI enough respect for what he accomplished. And I have to point this out. During his entire short boxing run, he was juggling YouTube sidemen and multiple business projects while fighting people who were completely focused on taking his head off in the ring. That's incredibly difficult, and there's serious risk when your attention is split. Then he lost to Tommy Fury, and reality hit him that you can get embarrassed in boxing.
Yes, you win, it's fantastic. Best feeling ever. You lose, bro. What a waste of my time. What a waste. I literally spent 12 weeks of my life killing myself to not get the result I wanted.
The Tommy Fury loss was devastating for KSI, but people ignore that he had another massive fight fall apart right before that, killed his motivation. He was supposed to fight Conor McGregor after they met in Turkey and shook hands. It was going to be huge, and when that collapsed, he basically said, screw this whole game.
Yeah, and it didn't happen. He said nah.
Did he?
Yeah, he refused. But I mean, like, it is what it is. He's doing his thing. He's got a lot going on, especially with bare knuckle and whatever situation he's going through. So it's fine. You know?
Ever box bare knuckle?
Nah, it's not, nah. I just don't need to. I don't need to. I feel like for me, I know my worth. And over the past couple months, I've definitely understood what my worth is.
Listen, KSI is putting out this message on his podcast that he's done with boxing for now. Maybe he returns eventually, but too much time will pass for those big matchups to matter. He keeps saying he won't retire and wants to avenge the Tommy loss, but that's not realistic.
I want to show my improvements. I want to avenge this loss. Because, you know, like, for me, I'm a type of guy that, yeah, it still burns me that, you know, I have an L on my record. So I want to rectify that. I'm not going to just retire. That's just not the type of person I am. I'm a guy that has to avenge my loss. So one day, I'm going to f that motherfucker up, Tommy Fury. I'm going to get him, best believe, and I'm going to destroy him. And then I'm going to just fight all these other motherfuckers, man.
If KSI takes a year or two off and changes his mind later, he'll be at a massive disadvantage. He already lost to Tommy Fury, so imagine the improvements Tommy will have made. If Tommy gets 5 or 6 more fights by then, the skill gap will be too wide to make a rematch. Interesting. My final thought on all this is we saw in my last Andrew Tate video that there might be rumors about a warm-up fight and rematch with Chase. But is Tate really the right person moving forward? Both Andrew Tate and KSI are superstar names, so who's going to headline Misfits cards and sell pay-per-views going forward? Who becomes the face of this platform? There are guys with big followings, but nobody at the KSI, Andrew Tate level, which was the whole point of bringing them in. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Misfits. Mams Taylor said Warren Spencer connected him and Andrew Tate for this fight, and he saw a different fighter in camp than what showed up. But no excuses, Tate fought a very active champion after 10 years away and did his best. Ring rust is real, but I don't think the top G goes out like that personally. Everyone's quick to criticize the man in the arena, but from personal experience, he's an absolute animal. Chase Damore also deserves more credit as a boxer. So maybe by 2026, Misfits can build around an Andrew Tate comeback story to keep the brand alive. But KSI won't be boxing. There's actually a real chance we may never see KSI fight again. End of an era.
Able to wake up every single day, even though it was so hard, I'm getting punched in the face, or I'm just taking L's in sparring. I'm waking up being like, oh, my back hurts, my leg hurts, or my hands hurt, you know, I'm getting ill, all of this, and I'm still having to wake up every day to train over and over and over, push my body to the limit over and over again for weeks. Yeah, it takes a lot out of you for sure. And, you know, to be able to go through that mentally it changes you. Physically, you look great as well. Like it's fantastic, but mentally it changes you quite a bit. So I think it was nice. It was it was a cool experience, you know, and to do that over and over and over again for many fights, yeah, it was definitely good. And I don't regret it, but I think I definitely outstayed my welcome, and I kind of wished I did what I was really, really good at, and that's making content. I wish I did that.
KSI won't be chasing world titles like Jake Paul. He's going back to what he loves most, which is just creating content.